Hello, my name is Delina, and I'm so excited to be walking you through my very first sketchbook tour. This is a hardcover Strathmore 400 series watercolor paper art journal that I so dearly love. So grab a snack, get cozy, and let's dive right in. This sketchbook is all about animals. I started it in April 2018 and I finished it in February 2023. Here I have a bunch of random stickers I got from a stationery haul years ago. Just in case the sketchbook gets lost, I always write my email address. This was the start of my Endangered Animals series on Instagram. I painted an Amora leopard and all of its glorious spots in gouache. I remember spending hours on the details here. For the Sumatran elephants here, the wrinkles were a really fun challenge. I was super proud of this first sketchbook spread. Here I painted a black rhino, Sumatran rhino, and a Javan rhino. I had fun playing with different color palettes on every page, and this one was obviously inspired by the Powerpuff Girls. And now that I look at them again, they look so smug. Here I was really exploring my style and trying to teach myself how to paint something fluffy. I think the snow leopard turned out okay, but I didn't spend as much time as I'd like on it. And the African wild dog looks a little bit haunted, but I kind of dig it like that. With this spread, I started to loosen up my perfectionist tendencies. I really adore the tropical color palette of the hawksbill turtle and the vaquita, who I painted very smooth AF like a dolphin, and it just turned out pretty simplistic. This next spread features a Bornean orangutan and an eastern lowland gorilla, more babies. These poses were so cute, and I got to play with the proportions of their faces to show their different stages in life. My two favorite kind of bears, the giant panda and the polar bear. I definitely took advantage of the watercolor technique here. They ended up looking so soft, fluffy, and are probably looking to plot your demise. The red panda here is not so red, but I wanted to go for a cooler tone palette. I was probably too tired after work to put much effort into this one, unfortunately. The Arctic fox was an interesting challenge to paint white without actually using white. The sea lion and blue whale was a very simple spread in my opinion. There's probably only 3 layers to get the tone right, and the whale faces they just look so silly to me. This next spread is really random. The narwhal, hippo, and albacore tuna are all just kind of floating in space instead of swimming, and the triangles kind of remind me of onigiri. I was probably waiting for dinner to be done when I painted this. This next one is a very biased spread. These two are my favorite NHL teams to follow, and I knew I had to incorporate San Jose Sharks teal with Pittsburgh Penguins gold. This last one is my final Endangered Animals spread. It's a very random bunch, and I'd like to think that they were all friends in high school despite coming from different cliques. The sloth, poison dart frog, and monarch butterfly don't have much in common, but I love their different textures, patterns, and poses. This next series includes a variety of dog breeds with florals because I totally love dogs. This first spread features a Labrador and Golden Retriever, one serious and one not so serious. I used to not be able to tell them apart, so this kind of helped. This next spread features some small dogs. My middle school favorites, the Pomeranian and Chihuahua. Both are very sassy, probably all bark and no bite, so don't get on their bad side. The great thing about having an art journal is being able to recall how you feel at a specific moment in time. Here, I was craving a pizza, so I painted the pit bull and German shepherd with pizza colors. They both have flowers in their mouth because I think Italian food can be quite romantic. These good boys have flower crowns, ready for pupcella. The Shiba Inu and Finnish Spitz both have very similar facial proportions. I love how painterly this one turned out. These next two spreads were probably my favorite in the entire sketchbook. The Chow Chow and Samoyed are both so fluffy and so cute. They both are very jolly and smiley in all their glory. I experimented with a more pixelated Minecraft-inspired texture here. The Rottweiler and Doberman are very serious boys on a tropical vacation, thus the Monstera leaves. Always on the lookout for a good time, and the only thing missing here are some sunglasses. The Shih Tzu and the Maltese. The cottagecore aesthetic was very influential during this time, thus the mushrooms. Don't underestimate these small fluffy boys despite how innocent they may look at first glance. Floppy ear dogs have my whole heart. The Jack Russell Terrier and Dachshund were so much fun to paint. I imagine they're the type to frolic in fields and go on adventures you'd only read in books, similar to Wishbone. If you know, you know. I got a bit bored with just gouache, so I added some color pencil here. It makes the Yorkie and Poodle both look so much more animated as they come to life from pencil to painting. They're just so hairy. Before you say anything, yes, I misspelled Australian, and no, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm just too lazy. The Shetland Sheepdog and Australian Shepherd are both very good at their jobs. They'll herd you to make sure you never get lost. They're like the sober friends who rallied the group into Ubers at the end of a wild, fun night. When I think of Boston Terriers and Bull Terriers, I think of pop art for some reason. I had to bring back the primary color palette for this one. They will both stare deeply into your soul until you understand it's time for treats. This is the last dog spread. Dalmatians hold a dear place in my heart, as I grew up loving 101 Dalmatians. I think I ended up painting a puppy here. As for French Bulldogs, I think of them as the bougie class of dog breeds. I made sure to give this one a flower crown for the royalty they may be. This next series of paintings were done on my previous Twitch streams. I took the reference photos on Pokemon Snap myself. This first one is of a comb bee I managed to lure with my sweet apples in the meadow at night. They're so precious, and I just love all things honey. This next one features a Charmander running to greet me in the caves. It was certainly the center of attention in this dark biome. I'd like to think we were trying to reunite based on our connection from a past life, or a past game. This sweet Altaria was singing and swimming on a bright afternoon. It was having the time of its life, undisturbed by the lesser fluffy Pokemon nearby. Lastly, a Lapras is soaking in the sunset at golden hour. After a long trek across the ocean, she may now rest and enjoy the view. I painted a series of sharks based on some HBO documentaries. This first one is of a gray nurse shark. It is surrounded by remora, which are tiny little fishies who share a mutualistic relationship with the shark. They feed off the scraps of the shark while getting free protection. This tiger shark was very dramatic in its documentary. Its sassy tail whip will do some damage. They're not likely to swim away after biting a human. This bonnet head shark looked so silly, so I knew I had to paint it. I don't remember much from this documentary, to be honest. I just thought it looked kind of cool. I really liked the challenge of painting this hammerhead shark from below. The underwater glow of the sunshine above was really fun to paint. They look so derpy from this angle, probably similar to us humans taking selfies with all of our chins present for roll call. Last but not least, my favorite type of shark, the great white one. I painted its face red to symbolize the blood of its victims. They do not live in shark-infested waters. You're just invading their natural habitat. Duh. These last two pages are pretty much just random. This spread features a bunch of different snake tattoo ideas I had. Poopy Snake entertains me. My favorite is the cherry blossom snake design. And I try to make the yin-yang pairs sort of shaped like a heart. This spread is just okay in my opinion. Lastly, the golden tiger from my very first YouTube video. This was so much fun to paint, and I'm just extremely proud of this one. Walking you through this sketchbook unlocked a lot of memories for me. I so dearly love animals and hope others can learn to love them too. Thanks for watching. Let me know which ones are your favorites. Okay, thank you, bye!